Hello, so welcome to the Julia Pachulia Schoolia for April 2018, and what I'm going to be doing today by popular request, well actually as requested by one person, is I'm going to be making some household cleansers. So some of these recipes, like what I'm working on here, the fizzy toilet pucks, this is a really new recipe, but I really like it. And some of these recipes, like the spray cleanser, I've been using like right from the very beginning when I started to use or make my own cleansers. All right, so let's get to the cleansers. So, oh, the cats are going bonkers right now. So if they like jump up on the table in the middle of what I'm doing, it's just gonna happen. But yeah, they're chasing each other around the house right now. So basically to make your own cleansers, you need 3 things, and you will be able to clean your bathroom and your kitchen and your floors and like your windows and mirrors and your toilet and all of that. So just 3 things. So those 3 things are oh goodness, I didn't get one of them out. But the first one's baking soda. Let me get the second one, which is plain old white vinegar. And the third ingredient is Castile soap. So Castile soap is really the only one of these ingredients that might be a little bit difficult to find. But if you have a larger grocery store, like in Hamilton we have Fortino's, or maybe you have Zehrs or Loblaws, maybe even something like Metro might have this. Typically you'll find Castile soap in the natural food section, so sort of the mini health food store within the larger grocery store. And you can also sometimes find it at Costco, I've heard. I don't have a Costco membership, but you can get it there. And you can, and health food stores will also have it as well. So this brand that I get is the most widely available brand. It's a classic Dr. Bronner's. The label is incredible. It's fantastic bathroom reading. I won't even start telling you what it says. You just have to read it if you haven't. So I like to get the unscented baby version of Dr. Bronner's because some of them have different scents like lavender and peppermint, but of course I like to add my own essential oils. So this is a nice blank canvas. So a bonus ingredient, which is really nice to have and really easy to get, but absolutely not necessary, is distilled water. So distilled water is great. It's a little bit better to use for cleansers that you're going to be storing for a while, like your glass cleaner or your household like spray cleaner. And that's just because it's less likely to have any like contaminants in it that you might not want in your cleansers. But you can, if you don't have distilled water on hand, then what you can do is you just use tap water and it's probably okay. So distilled water is a bonus ingredient that's good to have. Now, as far as storage and your utensils are concerned, it's a really good idea to avoid using plastics and wood when you're dealing with essential oils. The wood will actually absorb the essential oils, probably not something that you want. And if you store your essential oils in most plastics, the essential oils will actually kind of eat away at the plastics, and then they'll leach into whatever you're keeping inside the bottle or the container, which you probably don't want. Great choices are metal. I've got my metal bowl and spoon here for my fizzy toilet pucks. Another great choice is glass or PET #1 plastic. So if you're not sure, just look at the bottom of the container. It'll say #1 in the triangle, and it usually says PET underneath. And that's a very stable plastic, and it's safe for storage with essential oils. All right. Now, what essential oils should you use in your cleansers? There are so many you could use. But to be honest, if you have On Guard, you're probably good. It contains a lot of purifying essential oils, and it also has a citrus. It has wild orange in it. So On Guard Purifying Blend, if you're just getting one bottle and you want to use something for cleansers, I'd get On Guard. Another great thing to have on hand is a citrus essential oil. So lemon essential oil is one of the cheapest bottles of essential oil you can get, but very, very useful for making your cleansers. It's really excellent at eating away at gunge and grease, and it's a really effective gunge fighter as well. But you could use any citrus essential oil that you have on hand. So, I mean, I have lime and wild orange, grapefruit, tangerine. There's Citrus Bliss blend that kind of smells like a creamsicle. You could use that as well. Tea tree is also great if you want to have like something really purifying. Also there's Purifying Cleansing Blend, which is really fantastic for cleaning as well. So all of these recipes, that being said, they will work if you don't have essential oils, but the essential oils kind of up level your cleanser, so they there's Clementine. So they add just a little bit more of a punch, so your cleansers are more effective. So you're leveling up with this. Okay, now there are some ingredient combos that you probably want to avoid if you're making your own cleansers. I've already made a great video about this that I have up on YouTube. So what I decided, actually a few minutes before I hit play, I decided instead of going through that again in this video, what I'm going to do is tomorrow morning the post is going to be that ingredient combo that you don't want to, like ingredients you don't want to combine in your natural cleansers. I'm going to put that video up, so it's coming at you tomorrow morning, so keep looking out for that. All right, so let's get making our cleanser. So we're going to make 4 recipes today, and there is a little bit of like a cooking show on television. Oh, and we've done this before, and they bring it out just in interest of time. And so one of the things that I've already kind of started is the fizzy toilet puck. So the reason why I did this before is it does take a little bit of time to mix well, and I didn't think that would be a very engaging video for you guys. Oh, I should also say, I'm going to, after this video, I'm going to type in the description above, I'm going to type in the recipes, so there's no need for you to furiously write stuff down if you're watching live. It'll be up within probably half an hour after the video airs. So in the fizzy toilet pucks, we have 1 cup of baking soda, and what you have to help it be fizzy is citric acid. So where I got the citric acid is actually the Bulk Barn, and so I found this bag, I think it was about $16 at Bulk Barn, but I'm using it a quarter of a cup at a time for this recipe, so it's actually lasting me a long time. I found it in the section where all the natural soaps are. You'll find packages of citric acid there. Citric acid is also great for making bath bombs. So if that interests you, this is where you can pick some up. So I have a cup of baking soda, a quarter cup of citric acid, and then only 2 tablespoons of Castile soap to hold it together. So it does take a little while to kind of start mixing it in, but just keep at it. It might be 2 or 3 minutes of just kind of stirring. Then it'll be an even consistency, kind of like slightly damp sand, and then you know that you'll be ready. Also, you want to add some essential oils. So I chose to put Purify Cleansing Blend in. I really like the smell of it. It's very fresh. But other great choices for cleaning your toilet would be maybe tea tree or lemon would be really fantastic. On Guard would be great also. Or any citrus essential oil basically. Even oregano is really fantastic for cleaning your toilet. Your bathroom will just smell like a pizza parlor for a while. So I have here just a little silicone mold. I picked this up at Michael's when they had some of their really fantastic sales. So I got this at a pretty good price. And so I just take a spoonful, kind of use my hands, move this out of the way. And just push it in. It's quite simple. It's almost like meditation, you know. Now, as they dry, they do kind of puff up a little, which is, it doesn't really matter, but if you're around, you can just kind of push it down again. Some people use kind of like a melon baller scoop also. If you have one of those, that would likely also work, and you can turn it out onto a plate or a tray to dry. Actually, this recipe will make a few more than what will fit in here, and I found the last time I made them, by the time I was done here all the way over, then I was able to kind of just push up and pop these little bit older ones that had a bit of more time to dry. Just pop them up. I popped them on a plate and refilled. It was fine. So a few of them kind of fell apart, but I just pushed them back in. They were still wet. So that here we have our fizzy toilet puck. So I have here my little container, my batch that I made before that I just keep in a glass container. Because these the silicone mold is kind of small, I actually pop about 2 of them in. So about 2 tablespoons ish or so would be good. And so you just put it in your toilet. Not like a volcanic reaction, but they just fizz away. Leave it for about 10 or 15 minutes or so until you don't see any little bubbles rising up from the bottom of your toilet bowl. Then you can grab your brush and start scrubbing away. Now, if you want to actually clean your toilet and you don't have citric acid and you want to do it in a natural way, you can actually use this soft scrub recipe that we're going to make. Well, we can make it now. And I'll explain how you can use that recipe to clean your toilet also if you don't have your citric acid for the fizzy pucks. So let me just get everything out of the way. I'll finish putting these in the mold after the video. So where's my soft scrub? There we go. So you basically just need 3 ingredients. Essential oils, so I really like using lemon. I use this soft scrub a lot, mostly to clean my bathtub. So the lemon I find is really effective at getting rid of like soap residue and ring around the bottom of the tub. So lemon's typically my choice for putting in the soft scrub recipe. And you just need some baking soda and some Castile soap. Now this recipe doesn't keep very well over the long term. I keep this bottle of my first batch because I made like a giant amount and tried to keep it for a long time. It didn't really turn out so well. Don't know if you could see, it's entirely solid in there. So this is kind of a recipe that, you know, I'll make a batch just big enough for what I think I'll need that day. So I'll even just mix it in a bowl and use it right away. But since after this video I have no plans of cleaning anything, I'm going to keep it and then use it within the next couple of days. So this is just an old doTERRA body butter container, and it is PET #1 plastic, so it is safe to store things with essential oils in it. So I typically when I'm done, I'll just wash and reuse. So I use these containers for a lot of different things. So what you need for your scrubbing cleanser is 3/4 cup baking soda. And this recipe really doesn't have to be exact. There we go. And then you add about a tablespoon of water. So you really just need enough water to kind of make a really dense paste. So I'm just going to grab some from the tap here. Then I'm going to add my essential oils, so about 10 drops of lemon. And then 1/4 cup of Castile soap. I'm sitting on it like an incredibly squeaky chair. I'm a little self-conscious. I wonder if you guys can hear. All right, and then I just mix it up. So I'll come a little bit closer so you can actually see. But it's just a nice smooth kind of paste. And I have to tell you, this works better than any scrubbing cleanser I've ever used in my entire life. And it's actually really easy. You don't really have to scrub a lot. So what I do is, let's say I'm cleaning my bathtub, I just use my hand, dip it in, get a bunch on my hand, and I rub it on the side of the tub. I do that till the entire tub is covered, and then I go away and I do other things. Then I'll come back after 10 or 15 minutes, just enough time for this to dry on the surface and kind of adhere to any dirt on the side of my bathtub. Then I just take a wet sponge. I'll use typically like the scrubby side of the sponge and just rub, and everything just comes right off. It's super, super easy. So definitely if you're a person who does not like scrubbing things, like it's great for stovetops and sinks also, but give this scrubbing cleanser a try. It'll make your job much, much, much easier. All right, so then we're going to move on to a spray cleanser. So here I have my spray cleanser. I'm going to need a funnel and my essential oils and something to measure. All right, so I have my mineral water bottle, So this is a great tip for your spray cleansers. You can, of course, purchase glass spray bottles or metal spray bottles, but they are kind of hard to find. But a great tip is just to buy a mineral water bottle, drink the mineral water, have some delicious drinks, and then wash it out, remove the label, and then just get yourself a regular old spray top, and ta-da, you have yourself a glass spray bottle, which is great. A great tip for removing labels is you'll wet it a little bit first and then just use a few drops of lemon essential oil on a paper towel, and that will actually really easily remove any adhesive. And once it stops doing its work, just put a few more drops on the towel or a cloth and try it again, and then your bottle will be nice and smooth like this. So since I already have some in here, I'm really hoping that there's space for another batch in here. So the first ingredient is 1.5 cups distilled water. Funnel is very helpful also. Let's see, will it fit? Oh yeah, will be good. Oh, it'll be tight. We'll see. And then 1/2 cup of white vinegar. It's all the way to the top. Okay, and since I remember what essential oils I actually put in for the first part, I'm just going to continue to go with that. It smells really good, actually. So what I did last time is 1/2 wild orange, so a great citrus essential oil to help, get away grease and gunge. And then I also chose lemongrass, which also has a really great citrusy scent, but lemongrass is also very deodorizing, so it's fantastic for improving the smell of things also. So to this, I'll add 25 to 30 drops of essential oil. So I'll do 1/2 and 1/2. And then the wild orange. Which is really not coming out. Okay. I'm just gonna give up, and after the video I'll add the rest of the wild orange so you don't have to sit here and watch me trying to get it out of the bottle. So then let's say I have all the essential oils I want in here, then I would give it a shake and then it's ready to spray everything down. Now I should say, if you have granite or any type of stone countertops, it's really not recommended that you use a vinegar-based spray cleanser. It's just, I guess, not good for the stone. That's what I've read. So what you might want to do instead is make a soap-based spray cleanser. So the recipe that I have is 2 cups of distilled water and then 2 tablespoons of Castile soap. Or doTERRA also has a cleaner concentrate made with On Guard, and you could put 2 tablespoons of that in your spray bottle as well. And if you're using plain unscented Castile soap, you could add your 30 drops of essential oil. If you're using the On Guard cleaner concentrate, you don't need to add anything because it's already in that soap. And then the last recipe I'm going to make is a glass cleaner. Now you can make a glass cleaner just 1/2 and 1/2 water and vinegar. That works quite well. but I've learned that this glass cleaner, it's called Alvin Korn Glass Cleaner, it's way better. It works way better. It's streak-free. It works fantastic for windows. It's pretty effortless. So I've actually started this recipe because there is some cooling that has to happen. So I have a bowl in the fridge over here that I'm going to get. So while I'm making this recipe, if anyone has any questions about DIY cleansers, or if you have any general essential oil questions, feel free to type them up while I'm making this. It's the last recipe, and there is a little bit of a lag I found between what people are typing and what I'm seeing. So that way, I won't miss your question. So if you have a question, feel free to type it in now, and I'll answer it after I make our glass cleaner. So it's called Alvin, like Alvin and the Chipmunks. Alvin Korn, as in, you know, the delicious corn on the cob vegetable, glass cleaner. And it's called that because it contains alcohol for Al, vinegar, Alvin, and cornstarch, corn, or any other starch. I actually have arrowroot powder in my house, so I've used that as the starch. If you have potato starch or tapioca, it'll all work the same. So what I've done already is I warmed up 2 cups of distilled water in a pot on my stove. Then what I did is I slowly stirred in about 1 tablespoon of the starch. So I just get my arrowroot powder from Bulk Barn, I also use it a lot, like in my homemade deodorant. So I always have it on hand. So that's why I chose to use this for the recipe. Stirred it in quite well, so that and very gradually, so hopefully there's less lumps. I will strain this, however, just in case. There probably will be a few little lumps in there. And then I put it in the fridge to cool. And that's just because I'm adding essential oils. And so essential oils, when they're heated, they lose some of their therapeutic benefits, some of their powers, because the chemical compositions changed a little bit. So I didn't want to heat it up with the warm water. So it's pretty cool right now, so we're good. So first step, I'm just gonna move this out of the way and I'm gonna pour it in. Hopefully I don't spill it everywhere. Let's see. Well, a little bit. Let me just wipe that up. All right. Okay. So then there's a few more ingredients that we want to add. So we have to add our alcohol. You can put rubbing alcohol in, just the same type you buy in the pharmacy. But I found in my first batch that I made, it kind of gave it a weird smell that I didn't quite like. So another option is vodka. So I'm going to put a 1/4 cup of vodka in here. And then we have a 1/4 cup of white vinegar. And then you add your essential oils, so about 10 drops or so. It works really well. I think maybe I'll do half lemon and half lime. That sounds really good. Lemon and lime have pretty similar properties, but it'll just kind of switch up the scent a little bit. And that's it, it's made. Then I just put on my spray top, give it a shake, and it's ready to go. Now you can see exactly how cloudy this is. That's the arrowroot starch in here. And as you don't use it, it will kind of settle down to the bottom, so the top will be clear. So before you use it, just give it a good shake to disperse the starch a little bit better. So how this actually works and why it's so great at keeping your windows streak free is apparently glass has little teeny tiny imperfections in it. It kind of makes sense. It's not scientifically perfectly flat. And so when we're wiping away on our windows, the water will actually sit in those little imperfections, and that's what the streaks are. So what the starch does in the Elven corn is it actually fills up those little holes or divots in the glass, and so you're actually able to wipe it straight, which is great. So as you scrub, it'll look cloudy, 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 cloudy. Don't worry. Actually, it doesn't last that long. It'll look cloudy for like 2 seconds and you're gonna think, what am I doing? And then suddenly, it's all clear. It's fantastic, and you really didn't use very much elbow grease at all. So it's a great cleanser. I love it. So I haven't seen any questions come up, but I hope this little video has shown you how simple it can be if you just need to have the right ingredients in the house, and then when you're running low, it takes me less than 2 minutes to make my spray cleanser up. And I think about all the times how much time I used to spend in a store looking at the cleanser display going, what am I going to buy? And I don't have to put in that time anymore. I just have to make sure I have basic ingredients and I can whip them up, and I'm cleaning my house for a lot less money actually too. So I'm saving myself a little bit of time and a little bit of money, which is great. Just wanted to close out, I think, by saying if you have any requests or anything you're wondering about, or a theme about essential oils that you're wondering how, like just some tips. So I'm not sure what that would be for you. I'm making this video because I was just asked to do the video. So I thought it was a great idea. So on my tours, when I'm working in the museums, I always tell people that I love questions because then I know that at least one person is interested in what I'm talking about on the tour. And the same goes for these monthly Julia Pachulia Schoolia. So if there's anything you're just a little bit curious about, just let me know and I'll see what I can do. So I think I'm gonna leave that off on this Friday night, and I'll wish you guys a good weekend, and happy natural cleaning, everyone.